Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm doing a review on the Phenom Boxing SG-222D sparring gloves. So stay tuned. Hey, what's up guys? Carlo here. Today I'm doing a review on the Phenom Boxing SG-222D sparring gloves. I got mine in the blue colorway, 16 ounces. It is a Velcro closure only model. You can get this anywhere between 12 to 18 ounces with a total of 4 colors to choose from. The exterior is made of genuine cowhide leather throughout the entire exterior of the glove, with a polyester satin liner on the inside of the hand compartment. You also notice that it does have the weight and information tag stitched here at the very bottom. Piping utilizes layered foam padding over the knuckles that I'd say is medium to soft in firmness and about 2.5 inches in total thickness. And the gloves are manufactured in Pakistan. Now, this is going to be the newest glove to Phenom's current lineup. The biggest difference in design is going to be this Lace Fit X technology that they've added to this glove that they do not have in any of their other models. From a design standpoint, it's definitely a clean looking glove, very similar to the other models they have in their current lineup with the one singular logo on the back of the glove, and that's pretty much it. You do have the Lace Fit X that's embroidered on the inner nylon strap right there, but that's pretty much it. Again, very similar to what they have on their other models. The leather on here definitely has a little bit more of a glossier finish to it with a smoother texture. You do have the white Phenom logo on the back of the glove and the crisscrossing Velcro straps that are about 1.5 inches in height for each strap. You'll notice that the top strap goes away from the thumb and the bottom strap goes towards the thumb right there, rotating to the palm side. Again, you can see the nylon straps. That Lace Fit X is actually embroidered into that nylon strap, and you do have the openings where the straps comes through on both sides. Blue all throughout, including the piping. You do have ventilated holes on the inner portion of the thumb, as well as above and below the grip bar. The grip bar in here definitely has a really good size to it, and I'd say is about medium in firmness, and you do have a leather attached thumb. So again, you can see the leather for yourself has, again, more of a glossier finish to it. In terms of sizing profile, this to me is definitely a more compact glove, especially comparing this to other 16-ounce gloves. And in my opinion, even with my hand wraps on, they felt pretty snug, particularly the left glove. That's usually where I have the most issues with my thumb, is my left hand. My right, I don't have that same issue. They always say that your hands and your feet are a little bit off in size. I don't know how true that is. Might be an old wives' tale. But anyhow, I definitely felt that the piping on this left glove is a little bit more on the snug side, and it's going to take even more time to break in. Comparing this to the other gloves in their lineup, they're like their SG-222s. This glove definitely is a more compact fitting glove, so keep that in mind. If you're somebody that wants a glove that's, I wouldn't say looser fitting, but just a little roomier, I would definitely go a size up. So if I were to do it all over again, I'd probably get these in 18 ounces because again, these fit really tight. Now, if you like tight fitting gloves, then this was right up your wheelhouse in that regard. But compared to other 16-ounce glove, more on the compact side, and even compared to the other 16-ounce glove they have that Phenom offers, this is definitely one of the more compact gloves for a 16-ounce glove, both in terms of the height and how narrow fitting the glove is. So I definitely prefer that when it comes to sizing profile. It's just something you have to kind of keep in mind when you're looking at getting these gloves. But overall, a very clean, well-designed glove. And you do have that, again, that Lace Fit X technology right here on the front. Very similar to other systems that you see from other brands. Rival obviously has their wrist lock technology, which to me, this is what looks closely resembles to Rival. Onyx has their X Factor. There's several brands that have an iteration of a Velcro strapping system, all basically trying to give you more support on your wrist, particularly higher up, right? A lot of traditional Velcro straps usually just have that 3.5 inch, 4 inch Velcro strap that just comes right across, but there's really nothing higher up towards the bottom portion of your palm to really lock in that portion of your wrist, which is usually kind of a missed opportunity with the traditional Velcro strap. Now, granted, if you're wrapping your hands properly, you should be getting the support protection from your hand wraps, but this definitely adds a layer of extra support, typically with this higher, that higher nylon strap that comes across, which we'll discuss here in a little bit. Quality-wise, just like a lot of other Phenom products, they do a really nice job with their overall quality when it comes to the leather, the stitching. You know, the leather quality, I would say, is comparable to something like you would get from Top Boxer. If you have a pair of Phenoms in terms of leather, this is going to be pretty much the same as the other models, other genuine leather gloves. But you can see these have held up nicely as part of my rotation that I use these in training. Stitching all looks really good all throughout. You can see the inner liner, no exposed foam or any issues there. That all looks good. The outside area there. I'd say that the grip bar could definitely be more firm. It's about medium in firmness, but could definitely be firmer. Good size, just needs a little bit more firmness on the grip bar. So that all looks good. When I put the gloves on the scale, the left glove came in at 15.9 ounces and the right glove was at 15.8. So essentially both gloves are pretty much identical in weight to each other, which is great. And just a hair underweight when it comes to their advertised weight of 16 ounces. And show you the right glove as well. Something I didn't talk about on the design portion is, like a lot of other Phenom products, they do have Phenom that's embroidered vertically on the inner portion of the wrist support right there. So that looks really good. All done very nicely. This one does have a little bit of overlap, but they do generally a better job. Some glove manufacturers, when it comes to these Velcro straps, they make the Velcro strap itself way too long. So if you really cinch down the Velcro, you'll notice that you'll get this big lip of Velcro kind of sticking out. And this one is definitely better than others, but it still has a little bit of opportunity, particularly on this lower strap. Now, if you have a bigger wrist, you may avoid that. But if you have someone that has a skinnier wrist like myself and you really cinch it tight, you're gonna have a little bit of exposed Velcro right here. So again, this could have been something that they would have wrapped around with the fuzzier Velcro side to where when the Velcro comes around, it just kind of grips onto it. Or trim this a little bit shorter to where once you cinch it up real tight, you don't get any overlap of this Velcro, especially if these are used for sparring, which they're intended for. That's the last thing you want, is for this Velcro to be exposed, because that's going to do a lot of damage to your sparring partner. And if you've ever been scraped by Velcro, then you know it basically looks like you got like rug burn, or you basically fell on the concrete and scraped your elbow up. That's basically what it looks like if you ever got scratched, because this Velcro material is super abrasive. So to me, that's definitely a big opportunity, is when you're gonna incorporate a lot of Velcro into your glove, you have to make sure that there's safeguards for that, especially if the glove is designed specifically for sparring. But you can see weight's pretty much on point. It's a very well balanced glove, so it's not top heavy at all. So in terms of distribution of weight for the foam padding, they did a really nice job. In terms of symmetry, having the gloves next to each other, they're the same height, same thickness, and pre-curved hand compartment. So that looks all really good right there. Thickness and foam, thumb shape and thumb placement all look good. Same thing with the thumb going parallel up. You can see they're the same shape as well and go the same direction. Logos on both gloves are pretty much centered. So obviously if I got like a measuring tape, I'd get the exact measurement of it. But from the naked eye, both P's for the Phenom on both gloves are identical right in the middle. So in terms of symmetry there, that looks good. And same thing with the Velcro straps. So overall, very nice quality for both gloves. Okay, comfort-wise, let's go ahead and slide the gloves on. So first thing you'll notice is how I undid the Velcro strap. They are independent of each other. So unlike what you get from Rival, where it's one Velcro strap that comes down with their wrist lock technology, this one incorporates two different nylon straps. So you can see how that comes across. That's basically tucked in on the inside right there. This inside strap right here, you can see how it comes across, and it's basically attached to the piping on the inner portion right here. So essentially what you're trying to do when you tighten this is pull your thumb in to really get a locked in feel. So you have that strap, and then you have this lower one that comes across right over here. That's stitched down and goes through this loop right here. So you have basically two straps that are independent of each other that come through. Sliding my hand in, first things first. Liner feels really good, very comfortable liner like you would find in their other products. So no issues there with the liner. My hand is into place right now. So first things first is this piping is definitely on the tighter side for a 16-ounce glove. Especially considering other Phenom gloves, I've never had any issues with that. Generally speaking, Phenom, in my opinion, have been some of the more comfortable. If you're just talking from a brand perspective, like I feel like Phenom makes some of the most comfortable gloves in terms of like hand placement and just how comfortable they feel. And out of all the models I've used, these are definitely the tightest, especially when it comes to the base thumb. So when I have my hand wraps on, that exacerbates that, makes it even worse. But there's definitely going to be more of a break-in period, so keep that in mind if you're somebody that had issues with thumb piping. But outside of that, the rest of the glove feels very comfortable. And I'll show you guys basically when you have the glove on, you just start off with the top strap and you come across and you come down, and then the Velcro comes on the back of the glove right there. And then the other one just comes like that, and then you kind of come across and you go like that. Now you can see right there, like I showed you guys earlier, you do have that overlap. So to me, that's an opportunity for somebody that has skinnier wrists like myself. Feels very comfortable, very secure, especially for a Velcro nylon strap glove. Very similar to like what Rival has, similar to like what Onyx they do, and some other brands that use a dual nylon strapping system. So in terms of that support, that feels really good. The hand compartment, I'd say is pretty well broken in. If I were to put like a number on it out of 10, I'd say that these are about a 7 or an 8 out of 10 in terms of broken in feel. So they're not super extremely soft right off the bat, nor are they stiff and uncomfortable. You can open and close your hand with relative ease, but there is definitely a break-in period to where you can really soften it up to where you can really open and close your hand to parry shots. But I'd say that they're about a 7 to 8 out of 10 when it comes to broken in feel. Now, thumb position feels really good. They do a really great job with that. You have about an inch of padding on the back of the thumb for support and protection, but perfect depth, so I don't feel like my thumb jams at all. I don't feel like it's awkward. The only issue with the thumb is the base of it's a bit tight, which I mentioned earlier. Finger compartment feels really good. Soft foam and a liner feels really good around my hand compartment. No issues around the fingers or the knuckles. Nice and deep, and the width is perfect as well. Not too wide, not too narrow. I don't feel like my fingers are crowding against each other, nor do I feel like the hand compartment's too wide to where I feel like my hand will shift around once my hands are on the inside of the glove. And the grip bar is a good size, pretty large. I could definitely feel it. I just wish it was a little bit more firm so that when I do compress my fingers around the grip bar, I can really get it real nice and tight when I'm landing my shots to really feel like I'm locked in on that grip bar. But overall, very comfortable gloves throughout. I think the only issue that I have is going to be the base of the thumb. That's probably the only, I guess you can call it red flag if you want to call it, with the gloves when it comes to the comfort of these gloves. Particularly for me, it's going to be the left hand. Protection and performance-wise, to me, these are a balanced sparring glove. The foam padding on here definitely feels good in terms of feedback. You can see that it's medium to soft in density. So in terms of protecting yourself and your sparring partner, they do a really great job. Like I feel like Phenom, again, just like their comfort, when it comes to their padding they use with the foam padding, the layered foam, it compresses down nicely. You feel like you land on those two front knuckles. So in terms of that flat punch surface, you definitely get that. Good amount of feedback, but you also get a good level of protection. And using these for sparring, in terms of the padding, feels really good. Now, my only issue with these gloves is going to be once you cinch that Velcro down, like I mentioned earlier, it's a bit exposed. So if you are going to use these for sparring, I still would recommend putting a little bit of tape over this to prevent any of the Velcro straps from coming undone while sparring, especially if you're coming in at a weird angle and these you could possibly scrape your sparring partner. The wrist support is great on these as well, especially for a Velcro nylon strap sparring glove. So support right there is definitely great. Is it as good as a lace-up glove? No, I still feel like lace-ups are going to be always going to be the best. And one thing you'll notice is that the strap comes up here, right about inside here, and kind of pulls in. I still feel with lace-ups, you get a little bit more tightness through this section on the palm, and you can really cinch that down coming down here. Now, again, there is the nylon strap that kind of comes through right here. But again, I feel like lace-up. Now, compared to other Velcro gloves, this is definitely better in terms of wrist support. You can really feel like it's locked in and supportive and protective. But compared to lace-up, I still think they're a notch below that. The other issue I had with these gloves is putting them on and taking them off. So putting the first glove on, if you're doing it by yourself. Now, if you have somebody doing it for you, no problem, right? But if you're doing it by yourself, putting on the first glove is easy. You slide your hand in there. You'll notice that this portion of the glove right here is a little bit tighter when you slide your hand in compared to other Phenom models. But so you put the first glove on. Yeah, let's just assume you have hand wraps on, so that's going to make it a little bit more difficult with hand wraps. You have that first glove. Now, putting on the second glove, you take it. The hard part is getting that Velcro undone with one glove on your hand already. And you can see that it's just hard to grab that Velcro tab. To me, that's a design issue. I feel like there should be some type of rubberized tab, just something there to grip onto so it's not such a pain trying to grab the Velcro. The other issue I have when you're grabbing Velcro like this with leather is that this Velcro is very abrasive. And the more you grab it with the tip of this leather, you're going to really scuff up and damage this leather. The more you just keep grabbing the Velcro, which is going to be every time you use the gloves if you're using it by yourself, right? So if you had like some type of foam rubber tab stitched into the end of this, you would prevent that, one, damaging the leather on the other glove that you're using to open the glove with, and then two, making it much easier to grab onto and undoing the Velcro. I know, first world problems, but still a problem. So you have that undone. You slide your hand into the other glove. Again, kind of grabbing this tab, getting it across, not too bad. Grabbing this other one, cinching it across. You guys have all been through this exercise before at the gym. You kind of have to grab it. See, this is just kind of the area where it's a little bit of a pain in the ass. So grabbing that, and you get it on. Now, it's not impossible to do, obviously. I just did it, I put it on, but it can be a little bit of a pain. And that could have just been remedied if they just had put something on there to where you can grip onto that Velcro piece. All right, so now that I have both gloves on, again, they feel very supportive, pretty well broken in. Padding feels great, thumb position feels good, except for my left being, the base being tight. But now, trying to remove them, again, it's kind of I have to really kind of, it's a pain in the ass, right? So I have to really grip it. There we go. Or I got to get it with my teeth and get them off like that. Same thing with this one. So again, to me, that would be the biggest, the biggest opportunity in terms of this Velcro wrist support system. Very supportive, but taking it off and putting them on is definitely a little bit of a chore, and could definitely be fixed if they just made it a little bit more convenient to use these gloves rather than just having this Velcro right here. So that would be nice to have that. Cost-wise, these gloves are $240, which I think is a decent price, but I still prefer the SG-222 and the SG-210 over these. Now, if you're someone that's hung up and you have to get you want to get a Velcro sparring glove over a lace version, you're going to be paying a little bit more. I think the SG-210s and the SG-202s are a little more inexpensive, a little cheaper. So the 210s are $218 and the 202s are $212. So, on average, you're basically paying like $20 to $30 more for these compared to the other versions, which is, one, you're paying more, and two, I don't feel like you're getting much more of an improvement in glove performance compared to a lace-up sparring glove that Phenom already offers. Now, I do like the fact that you have the convenience of Velcro, and I do like the fact that this Lace Fit X does a really good job compared to other other Velcro sparring gloves. So in terms of being more supportive, they definitely are. The issue with this is when you're going to make something more convenient, I feel like there should be more convenient features to make it more convenient. Like obviously when you're taking them, you know, putting them on and taking them off with the Velcro, the rubber tabs I was just showing you guys a minute ago, that to me is what the kind of is the biggest opportunity and what kind of kills the convenience of this glove. And then now that you're asking a little bit more from a cost perspective, possibly because of the material you're using, obviously instead of using laces, you're using nylon, so there's probably going to be a little bit increase in price when it comes to manufacturing this glove. But I definitely think they're on the right path. I would like for the glove to be the same price as their other sparring gloves, and for them to fix all these other smaller issues. And I think they would definitely have a winner with these gloves, especially for people that are looking for a sparring glove that are not lace up and want Velcro, but want a very similar support system for their wrist that you get with lace up compared to Velcro. So if you guys have any questions or comments, you guys know what to do. Put them down below. I'll put the link in the description box where you can find these Phenom Boxing SG-222D sparring gloves. I'll see you guys later. Peace.